Welcome to Morgan TV, your trusted source for getting the facts straight on metabolism and health. I'm Dr. Morgan, a specialist in obesity and metabolism. Today, I want to dive into a discovery that has me truly excited. It comes straight from the latest breakthroughs in health research. We're going to talk about something that many people think is impossible, but science and clinical practice are starting to prove otherwise. And that is, how is it possible to actually recover your eyesight? Over the years, my work in the clinics has given me the chance to observe thousands of people up close. Every single week, we see over 7,000 members across several countries, from Costa Rica and Panama to Colombia, the United States, Puerto Rico, Holland, and Spain. Thanks to our centralized system, I can constantly analyze the health results of thousands of individuals. And something that has pleasantly surprised me is how often our members report a noticeable improvement in their vision just by balancing their metabolism. Vision is, without a doubt, one of our most valuable assets. When we look to improve our health, we want that improvement to be total, and that includes bringing back the sharpness of our gaze. But what's really happening inside the body that causes our sight to fail? And more importantly, what can we do to actually reverse it? To understand this, we have to talk about energy. I've had the honor of studying the work of Dr. Tennant, an eminent ophthalmologist who has dedicated his life to research. His book, Healing is Voltage, is one of the most fascinating things I've ever read. Dr. Tennant discovered that all health problems are related, in one way or another, to low voltage in the cells. Now think about how interesting this is. A healthy cell operates at a voltage between -20 and -25 microvolts. When that voltage drops below that range, pain appears. If it keeps dropping until it becomes positive, we face serious conditions like cancer. I've studied this technology because it fits perfectly with what we know about metabolism, which is essentially the machinery that produces energy in our bodies. I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Tennant personally to sit down with him and learn from his research on how vision is lost. And the key is understanding the internal mechanism of the eye. Imagine the inside of your eye. On the outer part, we have the pigmented epithelium, a thin layer that receives light. Right after that, we find structures called rods, which are responsible for detecting white light, darkness, and shadows. They regulate how much our pupils open. On the other hand, we have the cones, which capture the frequencies we perceive as colors, red, green, and blue. All of that visual information travels through nerves to some vital cells called Müller cells. Pay close attention to that name. Müller cells act like the eye's central processor, like a computer that organizes and sorts colors and images before sending them to the brain. Research shows that in degenerative diseases like glaucoma or macular degeneration, the cells that always get damaged first are, you guessed it, the Müller cells. Now, why do these cells get damaged? This is where metabolism comes into play. Dr. Tennant discovered that a lack of hydration is a critical factor. When a person doesn't drink enough water, their body can't produce enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Without that acid, the proteins we eat, like meat or eggs, don't break down correctly into amino acids. And if there are no amino acids available, the body simply doesn't have the raw materials it needs to rebuild and repair the Müller cells as they wear out. Another devastating factor is the use of statins to lower cholesterol. People often forget that our cell membranes are actually made of cholesterol. By drastically forcing it down, we prevent the body from replacing damaged cells in the eye. That's why so many people who start statin treatments notice their vision starting to fail. Plus, if you add a mineral deficiency because you aren't drinking vegetable juices or eating nutrient-dense foods, the repair process stops completely. However, here is the encouraging news. When you start hydrating properly, improving your digestion, giving your body the minerals it needs, and balancing your diet, you are handing your body all the construction tools it's been begging for. Check out this amazing fact. Eye cells are the fastest growing cells in your entire body. Practically every 2 days, you have brand new eyes. But of course, this only happens if the body has the materials to make them. If your metabolism is blocked, You're essentially going blind because you can't replace the cells that die. I've seen many people come into our centers with very poor vision. Then, after losing weight and stabilizing their energy, they come back from the optometrist surprised because their prescription had to be lowered. This happens because, by fixing the metabolism, the body recovers its ability to rebuild itself. My advice for you today is, don't wait. You need to act before permanent scarring forms in the eye tissue, because once it's a scar, it can't be repaired. Improve your diet, drink your water, keep up with your minerals, and give your eyes a chance to renew themselves. Your vision has a solution if you decide to repair your metabolism. And I'm sharing this with you because I have nothing to hide and so much to give.